Curious!
Hello and welcome to Bike Curious with me, Iwan Pitts, and Jack Peyton. Hello, Jack.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. You're my cycling expert, so talk us through it. What is the Tour de France?
The Tour de France is a cycling race across France and a few other countries this time. This year it goes from Dusseldorf to Paris over 21 stages.
Yeah, I've got my roadmap of France there, but it didn't start in France. Why is it called the Tour de France?
I'm not really sure why they go out of the country, but I'm sure it's for sponsorship reasons. And so every other year they go out of France. They started out of France. So 2 years ago it was started in Yorkshire and went to London.
Right, it's day 2, and you talked about sponsorships. Lidl won today.
Lidl did win today. Marcel Kettle.
Kittel.
Yeah, the German.
Is he a good one?
He's a very good sprinter. Very big, strong sprinter, and he did very well in the time trial yesterday as well.
But even though he didn't win today, Geraint Thomas, the Welshman, he's
still in the yellow jersey.
The winner, yeah.
So yeah, the yellow jersey is the person who's completed the tour in the least time.
So it's not like the World
jersey.
Cup, because that happens in one day, 90 minutes, in and out, done. WrestleMania, maybe 3-4 hours, one day, done.
No.
Why is this 21 days?
23 days, including the rest days.
Yeah, why is it so long?
Just purely to cover the distance. It's 3,500 kilometres long. If you did that in a day, that'd hurt more than it already does.
But it's doable, yeah?
No.
Okay, you're a cyclist. You've done a bit of cycling. What's the furthest you've cycled?
To Inverness from North Wales.
Yeah, that's a fair bit.
Yeah, that took me. I wasn't racing, but it took me 2 weeks.
What's that? 300 kilometres?
Oh, I don't know.
5,000
Probably
kilometres?
700.
Who knows? There's no way of finding out, is there?
No, definitely not.
So, what happened yesterday? Geraint Thomas, he gets to wear a jersey out.
So there was a 14-kilometre time trial in Dusseldorf yesterday around the city. So time trial is like a rally. They start at different times. So they start a minute after each other, and then they race over 14 kilometres. And the person who completes it in the shortest time gets the yellow jersey. And Geraint Thomas completed it.
Are his sponsors going to be pissed off because he's wearing a yellow top?
Actually, that is... So yesterday, Chris Froome is the previous winner of the Tour de France. He won the last one.
Yeah.
He could have worn the yellow jersey yesterday because he was the winner of the last tour, but he decided not to. There's several reasons he might have done that. He might have done that because of superstition. Some people don't wear the yellow jersey on the first day of the tour because of superstition, and the other reason is the yellow jersey has the race sponsors and not the team sponsors.
Are they a superstitious bunch, cyclists?
Very superstitious.
Give me a few examples.
They almost refuse to walk about and stand up. They believe that if they sit down as much as they possibly can, that they'll be more successful.
They shave the legs. Though. That's just lazy, isn't it?
It is lazy. They shave the legs.
But that's for aerodynamics, yeah.
Yeah, very marginal aerodynamics.
Do they shave their heads as well? Because I imagine that like Bradley Wiggins, he's got a famous pair of sideburns. Yeah, that's gonna.
A lot of people talked about that. If he'd have shaved off his beard, it'd have shaved off a few seconds. But no, he decided to keep the beard.
So why are we doing this?
I'm a fan of the Tour de France.
I don't know anything about the Tour de France.
Yeah.
How long has it been going on?
Over 100 years now. 1903, I think.
Have you seen all of them?
No, I got into it.
So why
in
are we
the Lance Armstrong era, the good times where everyone was on drugs and cycling at 100 miles an hour.
So why are we starting at like the 110th Tour de France or whatever?
Because we weren't around for the other ones.
Yeah, but we could go back to the beginning, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, but nobody likes the news delivered 100 years late. When the Tour de France started, it was very different. The stages were longer. There was no real rules or particularly teams. And I mean, the second Tour de France, someone was poisoned by another rider in order to win it. Some of them used to take the bus. Some of them used to hold onto cars. Some of them used to...
Well, as a way of cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Because it does sound like wacky races, and it looks like wacky races as well when people start crashing and sliding across the floor and stuff.
Definitely was. When it... probably the first 50 years, it was anything goes. There was no television to keep them in check, so...
So, yellow jersey, but the guy who won today, Kettle.
Little Kettle.
Oh, the guy in the Lidl, yeah. He was wearing a different coloured top after when he took the podium.
He wore the green jersey.
Why? What?
So
he won today, didn't he?
So the yellow jersey is the people that complete the tour in the least time. The green jersey is you get points for getting to the end of a stage first.
Okay, what stage are we on now? 2?
Second.
Right, and there's another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the one after that, and the day after that, and the day after that.
The 2 rest days are the next 2 Mondays.
How many kilometres do they do a day?
100 to 200. And the time trials are like 20 kilometres, not as long. But today's stage was, I think, 203.
How many hours of cycling is this?
A normal day would be 6 hours of
now,
cycling.
You're a big fan of the Tour de France. Do you watch 6 hours a day of cycling?
Not on all stages. On the sprint stages, all the action happens in the last 20 kilometres. Normally a few crashes and a big sprint to the finish at about 70 kilometres an hour, which is, you try riding 50 miles an hour on your bike. It's pretty hard to do on flat.
Who's peloton?
The peloton?
Yeah, that's it.
Peloton is the main group of riders, normally contains the yellow jersey. Right. So there are, 198 cyclists started the Tour de France.
But what does the word mean?
I've no idea.
Is it French?
Yeah.
I imagine it is.
Yeah, I don't speak French.
No. They do in Belgium, where the Tour de France is happening right now, yeah?
Yep, I'm Flemish.
So peloton?
Peloton, main group of riders, basically. So
how do you get a breakaway? Because there was a crash today, wasn't
there? There was a crash, yeah. So at the start of a stage, kilometre 1, a few riders will cycle off on their own to try and beat the main group of riders. And it's in everyone's interest for those group of riders to go off, because if the main group of riders is intact, it means people can attack them and they have to defend constantly, and it's loads of effort and really hard work. By having a breakaway, it means that it kind of stops people attacking, and there's only 4 riders, and the 4 riders are easy to catch up because they're doing more effort at the front.
So then the peloton caught up with the breakaway team?
Yeah, in the last kilometre. So they cycled 201 kilometres in front, and they got caught by the other 198 on the last kilometre.
But they only had the breakaway because of the crash, yeah?
No, the breakaway went before the crash. The crash happened just with everyone trying to get to the front. So if you're behind 100 riders, or if you're behind 10 riders, the chances that someone in those 100 riders is going to crash is higher than if you're in front of 10 riders. So everyone tries to race to be in the front first 10 or 15, and that just causes mayhem. So the third person in the line went down today. So there's 190 riders behind them ready to crash into them.
How many riders started the Tour de France?
198.
198
yesterday.
That doesn't seem safe to me. Like a bicycle race should be like a drag race. Yeah, it should be like 1-on-1. Or like one person does the whole course and then someone else does it. Why did they let 190 people like do the same? Like, because it's on streets as well, isn't it?
Yeah. There's lots of different types of cycling. There's the velodrome where they go 1-on-1, and
because streets can't be the safest place to be. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, the Tour de France is not a safe sport. People die in the Tour de France very regularly. Because
the streets around here, I don't know what it's like in France, but you got like speed bumps, potholes,
dogs,
children, footballs.
Yeah, you got all of that in France as well.
Yeah.
Although they do close the roads, and they do have marshals like pointing out potholes and bollards and stuff like that. So they try and make it as safe as they can, but it's impossible. The Tour de France is never going to be safe.
No.
The average age of a cyclist, I think, is 65.
So who's the oldest person in the Tour de France?
a few years ago, Jens Voigt was 40 when he was doing it. So about.
Oh,
40.
you mean like the date of death?
Tour de France does so much damage to you that your average age goes down by about 15 years.
You mean the average age you're going to die?
Yeah,
Not your average age whilst cycling.
That would be
Tour de
good.
France.
I'd pay to watch that.
65-year-olds. Mostly 65-year-olds cycling.
Yeah.
It's a lot to digest. I don't know how to go about doing this podcast. Really, I'm throwing questions at you.
I think that's the best way, really.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, why not?
We'll take a short break.
Do you want to look at the crashes?
Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at the crashes. So who's this? Luke Durbridge.
Durbridge, yeah, he's an Australian cyclist who crashed yesterday out of the Tour de France.
Right, let's. You mean out?
He's not in anymore. So he's coming around the corner.
Oh,
It was a good one. So apparently he sprained his ankle, and he thought he was gonna ride today. But
where are the other bikes?
on the top of that car, just on the left there.
No. I mean like the other cyclists.
It's a time trial, so they're going at different times.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, so he carried on,
Oh yeah, he finished the stage.
but then he gave up after.
So yeah, he thought he was going to ride today, but obviously he's like, there's a tweet just here. You can show the tweet if you want. It says, unfortunately, was taking a few too many risks out there in the wet. Sprained ankle for me, but I'll be out there again tomorrow.
Right.
He wasn't out there again
No.
today, so obviously something's happened.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we watch another crash?
Yes.
So
The
the main
other
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the main one is Alejandro Valverde. If I can find it, Valverde he's quite old now, but he's normally in the top five contenders for the Tour de France. And his teammate is a very, very good rider called Nairo Quintana, so he's going to miss out.
Oh.
So he hit the bottom of the barrier there and shattered his kneecap. So he's out of the Tour de France, and he had an operation last night on his kneecap, but he's hurt himself pretty bad there.
But is that because it's wet?
Yeah. So when it's wet, all the oil comes up off the surface of the tarmac, and it just makes it slippery.
Bike Curious!
I'm Iwan Pitts, with me, Jack Peyton. In case you skipped halfway through the video or the podcast or whatever. Now, I want to know about different types of cyclists. So you got time trialists, yeah?
Time trialists.
So are they the people who specialise in time trials, which is
like
what happened today?
So like against the clock.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Okay. Yesterday. So Geraint Thomas won the time trial stage.
Is he a classic time trialist?
He's a good time trialist, but he's not. He doesn't specialise in it.
What's his speciality?
Well, they used to call him a super domestique, which basically.
So a domestique, from what I understand, is somebody who's there to help the team. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think domestique vaguely translates to slave, and there's a domestiques and super domestiques. Super domestiques are very fit, really good cyclists, and they help their team leader Chris Froome, in Geraint Thomas's case, get to win the Tour de France.
Right, and
domestique does all the dirty work. So on the flat stages, he'll chase people down, and
was today a flat stage?
Yeah. So there's the domestiques. So Luke Rowe, another Welshman who's in the Tour de France for Team Sky, he's a domestique. He'll be getting the food. He'll be getting if someone crashes, he'll be getting them back to the peloton, and like just doing all the dirty work, getting water for them.
How many people do a team?
9. So there's 20 teams.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. What team should I support?
That's your choice.
Right. Okay.
I guess generally we're British, you'd support Team Sky, but not they're favourites. So lots of people don't like the favourites. I personally like watching British riders ride.
Are there any other British teams?
Not British teams. There are British cyclists in teams. So Mark Cavendish is in Team Dimension Data, which is a South African team. And then there's the Yates twins, Simon and Adam Yates. I think only Simon's in the race this year. And then there's an Irishman called Dan Martin, who's in Cannondale.
All right. Okay. So you got different teams. Everybody's got different roles. Are there other roles?
Oh yeah. So there's leader.
Yeah.
So that's either sometimes a sprinter. So to get to the end of a flat stage first, like Marcel Kettle.
Yeah.
Or there's Chris Froome, whose target is to win the yellow jersey. Climbers will try and win a stage, a hill stage, or they'll try and win the polka dot jersey, which is basically like the green jersey, but you get points for getting to the top of mountains.
Okay, so the yellow jersey you get for winning a
Green
stage. Yellow
is
the
least
leader.
time.
Current leader.
Yeah.
So the guy who won today, Kettle, if he was if he'd won by more than like 10 seconds or 20 seconds or however much it took to make up the time difference.
Yeah, if he'd have made up the time.
He'd be wearing 2 jerseys?
You don't wear 2, but you wear the yellow, but you have the green.
There's a flag or something.
Not really. It's just you're the yellow, green jersey holder, but it just means that the person second in the green jersey competition wears the green jersey.
Right, okay. And then the polka dot isn't out yet, but that's for climbing a mountain, yeah?
So the guy in front today, Tyler Finney, I think his name is, he got to the top of 2 mountains first today, so he's going to be wearing the polka dot jersey tomorrow.
Right.
And then there's the white jersey, which is the young riders competition. So if you're under 25, it's the yellow jersey, but for people under 25.
Right. So if the person in the lead is under 25, he gets a yellow jersey.
So it's the fastest young rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few other minor jerseys.
So what do you win?
Money, the jersey,
because
the like amazing sponsorship deals you get for winning stages in Tour de France. I mean, some people. I mean, I showed you a video earlier of a German winning a stage last year.
Crying, yeah.
Yeah, he'd been cycling for 15 years. He'd only ever won 3 races, and he won a stage in the Tour de France.
I was dreaming since 15 years of that moment, and.
One stage.
Oh, one stage.
So you got a 1 in 21 chance.
Well, no. There's 21 stages, but yeah, like you're just known as a.
And
legend
if you win any of the
that.
21 stages, you're a legend.
Yeah, you're a Tour de France stage winner.
But you don't get a trophy.
You'll forever be introduced as a Tour de France stage winner.
Do you get a cup?
You get a little lion teddy and some flowers, I think.
A lion teddy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but they've been doing it for years now.
Right, is it sponsored again? Because everything
Probably.
seems to be sponsored.
Yeah, it's the only way they can make money.
How did you get into this?
I used to be into mountain biking, and I broke my wrist quite badly. And I still like going on my bike, but mountain biking was a bit too much hard work, so I started road biking.
Yeah.
And then I started following the Tour, and then my family started following the Tour. And then I went to see the Tour a few times, and it's just a general progression. Yeah.
Now you're a big fan.
Yeah.
So
it's really entertaining once you learn the rules.
But you don't support anybody. It's not like football.
No. You just want entertainment. Not you hope for the best race, and you hope for the little guy to win, and you hope for drama, and it's just there's lots of stuff that goes. Do you support a wrestler?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, I've got my favourites.
Yeah.
No.
But if they stop being entertaining.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you kind of move on with the times. So it's not like football where you die cast. That's
in wrestling.
team.
You follow storylines.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what you do in cycling. You follow storylines.
But you don't get a belt. You don't get a cup. You don't get.
You get prize money.
You just get a jersey.
Yeah, the jerseys are coveted.
Right. Okay. Fine. Sure.
So how did you find that? Was that your first stage? Well, last 10 kilometres of a stage you've ever watched?
I want to say this year, but today is the first time I've seen the Tour de France.
Yeah, and it was a sprint stage, which aren't the most entertaining. And once you learn the rules,
but it sounds like it would be the most entertaining, because wouldn't the sprint stages be the fastest?
Yeah, they go really fast at the end of a stage. They're going 50 miles an hour, and if anyone crashes, it's chaos.
Yeah,
because they're all bunched in
crashing
together.
is entertaining. Yeah, do you watch it for the crashes?
Don't watch it for the crashes, but it is entertaining.
Okay.
It's just one of those. It's just it throws a spanner in the works. Like Tour de France, Chris Froome abandoned the tour for crashing. So did Alberto Contador on the same tour, and it meant that the two favourites were out. So this other cyclist, Vincenzo Nibali, won the tour, and it was really entertaining because nobody expected it to happen. It was just like so unpredictable, and the amount of variety that you get in the Tour de France, you don't see it anywhere else. It's the most watched sport live in the world.
I don't believe you.
Well, it is. Not on television, in person.
Oh, right, okay.
So 5 million people watch it live every year.
Yeah.
So that's the population of Wales plus 2.
Yeah, but
million.
I mean, France is a big country, and it takes up all of France and Belgium and Germany as well, doesn't it? So what can you do, eh?
But it's very important to them. I mean, it's Belgium's national sport.
Cycling.
Cycling is, yeah.
Specifically the Tour de France?
No.
Do they have their own Tour de France, Tour de Belgium?
They have their classics, but we won't get into that. They're like one-day races, and the first one over the line wins.
Okay, predictions.
Predictions?
What's going to happen? If anybody at home has got any ideas for what we could call this section as well, maybe a pun, cycling or bike, sidekicks, wheelie or won't he?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. If anybody's got a better one than that, let us know. We'll call this segment something. But predictions, Jack Peyton.
So
Peyton's predictions.
not necessarily. I'm going to ask a few questions. I'll ask all 4, and then I want to hear your opinions at home, and then I'll give my opinion and see if you disagree or agree with me.
Okay, well, hit the road, Jack. What have you got?
So who will be in yellow by the rest day next Monday? So by the time we do our next podcast on Sunday, who will be in the yellow jersey? I think Chris Froome will get it on next Sunday in the Alps, I think it is.
Okay.
And then will Team Sky riders have bodily fluids thrown on them?
Now, is that a common thing?
It's happened, I think, in the last 2 tours. So I mean, you can, if you want to go into detail of bodily fluids, that's fine. I think they will. I'm going to say. I think they will.
Okay. Next one?
Will one of the favourites abandon by the rest day? So
No,
probably
how many have abandoned so far?
3. One of them technically was a favourite, so we're not going to include Alessandro Valverde. So I'm thinking Chris Froome, Richie Porte, Contador, Nairo Quintana. These riders, are they going to abandon through a crash? Are they going to... Yeah.
And have you got a 4th one?
The last one is, will Mark Cavendish abandon before the rest day? Because as some people might know, he had glandular fever this year, and that put him out of action, not able to go on his bike for 2 months. So he's had really short preparation, so he's quite ill.
So he hasn't trained as much as everyone else.
No. So will he make it to the rest day? Lots of people don't think he will. I think he's stubborn. I think he will. I think he'll keep going.
How many would we expect to finish out of 190 something that started?
I don't know. I think it's normally somewhere like 170, 180. 170, I'd say, would be a fair guess.
So about 15,
I can do a bit more research for next week. But
15, 20 people normally drop out.
Yeah, it might even be more than that. It might be 150 that normally finish. But yeah, there's a fair few get injured or give up.
Yeah, and some are struck from the record books.
For taking drugs.
Yeah, so...
We'll talk about drugs. We could do it today or next week.
I think we'll leave it for next week. It's a bit heavy, isn't it? And also, like, I want this to have an air of legitimacy about it. And if we start talking about how, like, the Tour de France is a complete shambles.
That's part of the history. Whether you like it or not, it's part of the history of the Tour de France, the drugs. It doesn't have to be the future, but
yeah,
it's definitely part of the history.
Because even some of our lads, whichever team.
Yeah,
we don't support a team. But
so David Miller, he does the ITV4 coverage. He took drugs. He's a British rider.
what kind of drugs?
EPO, steroids. Basically, it increases the number of red blood cells in your blood.
Yeah, blood's another one, isn't it?
Blood transfusions.
They just take blood, yeah.
Yeah, blood transfusions. Testosterone.
B12.
Pardon?
B12.
I think that's legal, but they're not allowed to inject vitamins anymore.
Oh,
They're only allowed to take tablets, but they used to inject vitamin C and D and all the vitamins they needed into their body. But it's illegal for cyclists to perform injections on themselves or their doctors. Only injections they're allowed are medical or the race referees checking if their blood's clean.
All right. How often do they do that?
The winner of every stage gets blood test, and there's random blood tests throughout the year for all riders.
Okay.
So
is there a way to cheat it?
Yeah,
Mask it.
yeah. It's so easy to get hold of the drugs. I could get hold of the drugs. You can get them on prescription.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be tested, would you? If
No.
you were on the road, like a
No.
policeman's not going to pull you over and breathalyze.
It's not illegal.
For EPOs.
It's not illegal. You can't. You can't test for EPO. Or you can test. So they have a blood passport.
Yeah.
So basically, a blood passport is where they measure the amount of red blood cells in your blood, which should stay fairly constant.
Yeah.
And it should gradually go down during the Tour de France because you're getting exhausted.
Yeah.
But a blood passport, just if your blood count goes up, there must be a reason it went up because you haven't been resting. So that's how they do it. So EPO is a natural chemical that exists in your body and tells your bone marrow to create red blood cells.
Well, now you know.
So yeah.
Is anybody going to get popped? Is that a prediction you could?
Someone got popped last week.
Last week.
Yeah. Someone's teammate. I think it was Contador's teammate.
Yeah.
Alberto Contador. I'm not sure. Spanish guy, I think.
Yeah, it's best not to guess though, is
That's
it?
a good one. Yeah.
Because if
Who'll get no, not who'll get popped. Will someone get popped?
yeah,
And by popped we mean caught taking drugs.
yeah,
No, it's my guess.
okay.
But maybe.
Well, they're professionals, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they know how to
Professional
hide
drug takers.
it. Yeah. They know how to hide it.
Yeah, and the doctors do.
Does every team have a doctor as well?
They all have doctors, yeah. And
Team doctors.
yeah, masseuses and all. There's a team
Chefs.
of 30 to 40 people go there. A few years ago, Alberto Contador got caught with something in his system. I think it was a steroid, and he said that someone poisoned his food with steroids to sabotage him, which is probably
True.
bullshit.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, probably.
It's the wrong. That you went in a different direction to what I was thinking there.
Yeah, it's probably he's lying to try and get away with it, but
It is a bit.
but they have their own caterers now for that reason.
Yeah.
It's so no one can sabotage them.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear it. So those are the predictions. They'll be on our Twitter, Bike Curious Pod at Twitter. Go over there, answer our questions, and thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week for more of the same.
See you later.
Yeah. How long are we going to do this for, though? How long is the Tour de France on for?
So we'll do 4 episodes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
4 episodes. Knock it on its head.
And
That's
then
it.
Next year.
Well,
Every stage next year.
Is there no other cycling thing?
There is. There's the Spanish one, the Vuelta de España.
Yeah.
But it's not as popularly. It's not as. It's like the World Cup, the Tour de France. You don't cover the group stages.
No. Okay. Oh, so you qualify for the Tour de France?
Sort of. Not really, but yeah.
All right. We'll look
We'll
into
go
it.
with that.
We'll look into it. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jack, and thank you for listening.
See you later.